Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the story of Ella and Alec. Also, we seem to be in a story of Jacoby and Agatha, which I didn't expect, but they are pretty much included in this story. So, we are heading back over now to Agatha. The next day, I spend in the storage room, going through papers. What I discover is pretty dismal. Marchesa does own this property, but she also has 4 mortgages, none of which have been paid in months. It's only a matter of time before bankers repossess everything. I could pay things off with magic, but that's unfair to hard-working humans. It's also easily tracked. Humans have a special council that punishes rule breakers. Oh, it's becoming more and more clear that this house is depressing, and I really shouldn't be here. But where else can I go? In the end, I decide to take a break and grab a cup of coffee. Since it's close to 2 a.m, you'd think it would be impossible to fill up on Java. Good thing this is Manhattan. I happen to know the perfect spot to get caffeinated at this hour. Hyacinth coffee. I step outside the Mercantile and linger. There's no sign of Jacoby, which is fine. Who needs a princeless stalker anyway? With that lie firmly implanted in my mind, I head off to the coffee shop, alone. Hyacinth Coffee is in a very funky part of town. After a short walk, I find the place is packed with partiers. The smell of cigarette smoke and stale booze carries on the air. At this time of night, most customers are stopping by for the equivalent of a red-hot Red Bull before hitting their next bar. The line curls around the store. I'm about to join the queue when someone grips my free hand and yanks me into a hug. Oh, Agatha, Agatha! It takes me a second to realise who has grabbed me. Marchesa. She looks as pinched and nasty as I remember. Heavy whirls of brown hair are perched atop her head. Beside her, Ivy is all bright eyes, pale hair, and an empty smile. This is unpleasant on 3 levels. First, it's Marchesa. Second, she has Ivy with her. And third, she yanked me with such force I missed my chance to get in line. Come along, cries Marchesa. Ivy and I have grabbed a table for us right by the window. In the movie of my life, this is where I'd go all ninja on Marchesa's ass. Maybe I'd do one of those moves where I kick out her legs or something from underneath her. But that's not how I roll. Instead, I pull my floppy hat down around my ears and allow myself to get dragged over to the far corner of the small shop. I end up sitting with my back to the wall and the shop's main window to my right. Ivy slips onto the chair across from mine. Marchesa takes a seat to my left. It's Ivy who speaks first. What happened to your hair? Oh, I twist a few locks around my fingers. Before my hair had been brown. I'd forgotten how it looked changed. I mean, the colour changed. After I looked into the moonbeam mirror, it's red. Well, that shade is terrible on you, adds Ivy. Where's your veil? My hat is fine. You need to cover up all of that nightmarish red hair, Marchesa smirks. I think I have some old napkins that might help. I pinch the bridge of my nose. I so don't need this right now. A new voice sounds. Leave her alone. My breath catches. It's Jacoby. I shoot him a sly look. I thought you missed our not a date. I got distracted because I suspected someone else was following you. Turns out I was right. In all the drama I've seen in my fake family, I didn't realise that the prince had stepped into the coffee shop. Now Jacoby stands right beside me, tall and looming. I won't lie. That's a great place for him to be. Let's head to Jacoby now. I grip the back of Agatha's chair with such force, the wood creaks. My blood heats just thinking about the nasty things this pair just said to Agatha. Sure, some may think it's only helpful comments about her floppy hat and newly red hair, but I know the truth. I buried 7 of my brothers. I know what hurt means. I won't tolerate anyone hurting those I care about. However, they apply the pain. Marchesa notices me. Oh, Jacoby, I didn't see you there. Ignoring her, I focus on Agatha. You don't have to do this. Agatha tilts her head, considering. After a few moments, she speaks. It's okay. We can chat for a few minutes. 120 seconds, I declare. Just give me the word. Long seconds tick by. Ivy is the one to break the silence next. Mummy and I need to speak to our dear Aggie. Can you give us some privacy, Jacoby? There's no way I'm leaving without Agatha's permission. I glare between Ivy and Marchesa. What do you two want from her? I rest my hand on Agatha's shoulder, just so there's no question who here is in this situation. Well, says Ivy, we're here to bring Agatha to Fairy. Leaning forward, Marchesa speaks in a lower and conspirational voice. We got a message from our mutual friend, not Adele. She's assigned us to a personal assistant, you know. She provides us information, directions and everything, gushes Ivy. You might remember her, says Marchesa slowly. Her name is Lady Cloak. So you will come with us back to Fairy. No, states Agatha. Don't be silly, says Ivy. It's best for you to do what Aunt Adele says. You know what happened to Alec. Agatha lifts her chin. I'm aware. You're not the only one with allies, you know. I brush my thumb in a slow arc on Agatha's shoulder. It's a small movement, but I hope she gets the message. Good work, Agatha. It's a smart play to hint at the chat with the yawning sky. Both of them are more powerful than Aunt Adele, at least for the moment. Ivy shakes her head dramatically. I guess we better leave now. Marchesa rises slowly. Because if you won't follow us into Fairylands, perhaps the Shadow Morph can drag you back to where you belong. It's an effort to keep my features carefully even. There's no way I can allow Marchesa, Ivy or Agatha to know how much this news disturbs me. Because Shadow Morphs are some of the worst assassins in Aunt Adele's employ. They turn darkness into liquid evil and are nearly impossible, and I mean impossible, to kill. I risk a glance toward the far corner of the coffee shop. Sure enough, a Shadow Morph now oozes from the ceiling. She's in a stealth mode, so none of the humans can tell what's about to happen. But I know the next steps well enough. A battle is only seconds away. Agatha. I follow Jacoby's line of vision. Indeed, a sludgy creature drips down from the ceiling of the coffee shop. I've heard about these things, but I never wanted to encounter them in real life. A Shadow Morph. Agatha Cinder. That was Ivy, trying to get my attention. The Shadow Morph. Step inside me. I will bring you to Fairy. This is a classic move of a Shadow Morph. They surround you in the nasty goo. From that point, they puppet you around like a marionette covered in dripping black paint. I'll pass. Beside me, Jacoby raises his hands to chest level, conjures a sphere of magic. Tossing the orb to the floor, it sends ripples of blue energy out across the cafe. The humans react as a chill of fear speeds through the shop. All the patrons yelp with terror as they run for the street. Even Ivy and Marchesa take off. The cafe lies empty. I nod, impressed. There's a pretty good spell right there. If Jacoby and I live through this, I'll have to ask him to teach it me one day. While Jacoby was doing his spell thing, I hadn't noticed the Shadow Morph send a tendril of goo my way. Although most of her remains in the corner, there's now a line of sludge. From that point to me, the gooey lines rise up beside me, where it turns into a drippy hand. It's that slimy hand that now grips my own. A voice sounds in my head. How interesting. I'm about to shake this gloopy chick off my wrist when the Shadow Morph says something even more shocking. Are you and Jacoby bonded? Now, bonding happens when two elves share their real names. Their souls become linked. It's like human marriage on healthy steroids. And it's nothing I'd ever consider with Jacoby, so I freak out. What? I say. And my voice is maybe an octave too higher than normal. We're not bonded. I yank my arm free of the Shadow Morph's hold. There's the barest sense of a scratch. But other than that, breaking loose was pretty easy. I wonder about that, but Jacoby is now standing before me with a curious look on his face. Did he hear what I said or not? Please don't let him have... You know what? Let him not have heard a thing. We need to run, says Jacoby. I set a power orb to set this place on fire. Fire, yes. I smile so wide my face hurts. Let's go. I race to the door. Jacoby. Agatha and I race outdoors. The moment our feet hit the sidewalk, my fire spell goes off. The glass windows of the coffee shop explode. Plumes of fire burst out into the street. To protect Agatha from the blast, I curl my body around hers. We end upon the pavement, with Agatha on her back, under me. My hands are cupped beside her head. Heat and attraction burn through my veins. Are you all right? I ask. Agatha stares at my mouth a long time before answering. You fried my coffee shop. A flame is the only way to fully kill a Shadow Morph. Oh. A deep blush colours her face. I suppose we should get up now. Don't you want to stay and discuss how we got bonded? Agatha pounds my shoulder. You heard. I know you did. I rise and offer Agatha my hand. You were rather loud. It was hard to miss. She stands up on her own. Ugh. The Shadow Morph was talking in my head. Just forget it ever happened. I can't. Not that I'll admit that to Agatha yet. A high wail of sirens cuts through the night. We can't hang around here for long. I step closer. What do you want to do now? You mean about all the unpleasantness? Yes. A ghoul monster did try to attack you in the coffee shop. Well, I won't let someone drag me off to Naughterdale's palace. She picks up her floppy hat from the street. The brim is torn off. Aren't you going to say it isn't safe for me to stay in New York? No. Why? You're your own person, Agatha. You'll do as you wish. And if you want my advice, you'll ask for it. A small smile rounds her mouth. What I want is simple. I want my life back. Naughterdale must stop hunting me, but for that, we need a plan, and a safe place to come up with one. In that case, the most secure spot to chat is my refuge. So you'll open another portal to Fairy? Yes, but not here. Are you up for a short walk to Central Park? I offer her my arm. Agatha only hugs her elbows more closely, so we stroll off side by side. In the end, I decide that Agatha may not be taking my arm, but she is leaving New York for my home. I consider that progress. And that's the next part. I guess that was Agatha and Jacoby. Interesting dynamic there, right? Something surely will happen. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But it kind of feels like it's going to. It does. And I hope Agatha and Ella actually get together, because if they get together, she's going to realise she's not alone. Like, Agatha actually is on her side. She's not an evil stepsister. She's something completely different. Thank you for listening to this episode, and many blessings.